because social audit, even in Manrega also we find, social accountability should be linked with legal accountability. आज तक कोई ऐसा concept नहीं आया जिसमें ये बोला जाए कि there are two separate coins. Social audit is not saving the money, it creates positive impact on governance. In present government, most of the projects etc. are running late. One such cause is also considered as CAG approach of fault finding. In spite of certain advantages, social audit arrangements have mostly been ineffective because there is no legal provision for punitive action. Yes. It is talking about actionable wala part. Yes. So, because social audit, even in Manrega also we find, in general social audit is people's audit. Social audit we say as people's audit. It is more of a moral sanction. Social audit is more of moral sanction rather than legal sanction. So this is how there is lack of actionable accountability. You can talk on this. You can give also facts how that 200 that social audits evaluated in Andhra Pradesh show how it was found only 3% cases. So that way it can be written. But that does not mean you have to write kids. There should be legal sanction. Rather, way forward should be that we should have guarantee, means we need to establish link between traditional system of accountability and contemporary system of accountability. Means social accountability should be linked with legal accountability. Means the institutions like CAG, CBI, CVC, Lokpal, they should be connected with social accountability so that there is action on that. This, like we can link CAG audit and social audit. If CAG incorporates social audit findings, that will have greater legitimacy to social audit, and probably there can be also action. Suppose social audit findings, social audit finds that there is any such irregularity, and that is also acknowledged by CAG. So then there is a high ground that the government may take action on this. So that way we can link rather than talking there should be legal thing. That was the question like once. Then next question is this. Can we say that statutory audit and social audit are two sides of the same coin, or are they the two separate coins with varying values? What you will say this?
So they are the two sides of the same coin because having differences, they are having some commonalities also.
Are they the two separate coins? आज तक कोई ऐसा कंसेप्ट नहीं आया जिसमें ये बोला जाए कि देयर आर टू सेपरेट कॉइन्स. तो वो कोई चांस नहीं है. It is for trap. This that is how. So they cannot be two separate coins. This anyhow. So you have to say that both are complement. It is complement this relationship, or that what we have said at this social audit and CAG audit. This. So that way we can link it. They are differences, but they have commonalities and they influence each other. So we cannot say that two different values they do not have. Values are same. CAG also wants to uphold accountability of the government. Social audit is also about accountability of the government. So ultimate ends are same. That you want to uphold accountability. One is in participative way and more of social type. Other is more of legal type. So process may be different, but end result, ultimate broad aspect is same. So both belong to the same school of thought called democratic accountability. Right. This and CAG audit in broad sense is also. Yesterday I told that in broad sense CAG audit is also social audit. कैसे? तो वो भी लिख सकते हैं यहाँ पर. So that can also be one aspect. This. So anyhow, there the two questions, I guess. Thereafter, there was one more question, but it is not in this list. Yes, there is another question. Social audit is not saving the money, it creates positive impact on governance. Very simple question. आपको जितना लिखना है आता है सब लिख दो. सो और कोई ऑप्शन नहीं है, इतने ज़्यादा वेराइटी नहीं है. कभी कभी या तो बहुत ही डिफिकल्ट कर देंगे, बट हमेशा तो वो कर नहीं सकते हैं, राइट. और कभी वो बहुत ही सिंपल क्वेश्चन होता है, लाइक दिस. दैट इज हाउ इट इज. स्टिल इट डज नॉट मैटर कि सिंपल क्वेश्चन है या डिफिकल्ट क्वेश्चन है. मैटर ये है कि आप लिखते कैसे हैं. दैट इज ऑलवेज चैलेंजिंग. This that is always challenging, let's say this, because even if question you know, but what we find is the writing challenge anyhow. But it is a straightforward question that can be attempted. So this is related to social audit. Then it is audit. Audit function has always been viewed as integral part of government financial management. Discuss the significance of, this is how internal audit was asked, in improving performance of the government sector. Yes. So how will answer the first part? This. The first part. How audit is integral part of government financial management. Yes, so you have to write that कि how financial management has three components. This budgeting, accounting, and auditing. This that way, by showing that, we can tell it is integral parts. Then thereafter we'll write audit, and then we write ki audit is external, audit is internal. The external it is not asking, it is asking about internal, and internal audit is done by Controller General of Accounts, like this. This is how this significance. Discuss the significance of internal audit in improving. You write the purpose. What is the purpose of internal audit? It is something, let's say, accountability coming from within. To improve accounting standards, rule out any irregularities, any discrepancies in account maintenance. This, since it is coming from internal inside itself of the department, it imposes moral obligation on the government departments to maintain accounts in proper manner, the way the forms of account provided, and when they rule out discrepancies at their level. So that is how it enhances government accountability. This, however, we need to reform it. You have to write, we need to reform it by separating also internal audit, the way external audit was separated from accounts in 1976. Yes, so that way it can be written. It is PSUs related question, so that somehow not a right categorization. Public sector organization. Still, we can say that what are the non-financial parameters of performance measurement? What non? It is a generic question, random. कुछ दिमाग में आया होगा उन्होंने फ्रेम कर दिया. Right. ये थोड़ा सा चैलेंजिंग क्वेश्चन है कि what you are going to interpret, what you are going to write. Isn't it? This proprietary audit, performance audit, social audit. Social audit is also now part, and oomph, output and outcome evaluation. Okay. That Niti Aayog is also doing. Right? oomph yaad rakho aap, isn't it? This output and outcome monitoring framework. Yes. So that is what we can talk like this. So that is what performance measurement remains an emerging issue. This is that ki basically in government challenge is, let's say, not about budgetary allocation. Challenge is knowing about the outcome of that allocation. Because generally, let's say, still recent time we had lack of, let's say, that such kind of performance standards. That is, there is lack of performance accountability culture, right, in public administration. Although in recent times there are some developments, but still we find that what lacks is lack of performance measurement. Yes. And then let's say you can talk on this then, but let's say issues, but it is relegated to exclusively monitor and assess use of funds. Basically, let's say that performance measurement is more legal, quantitative, and it is more focused to regulatory and financial audit, right? Which is more, let's say, procedural evaluation. The way it says that used fund. How fund is utilized means fund, suppose it has been sanctioned fund for road construction. So this is how it has been utilized. So whether it has been utilized the way it has been sanctioned, it hardly checks that when it has been utilized, is it, let's say, morally it was desirable, the wisdom aspect of the expenditure. So the wisdom aspect of the expenditure, the outcome aspect of the expenditure, its impact on people. So basically it is talking indirectly criticism to CAG audit. That CAG audit is more legal and procedural rather than outcome and, let's say, proprietary type. That's why now there is more emphasis on outcome oriented. That's why Prime Minister says that civil servants to go CAG +1. This become CAG +1. Or we expect that CAG should become also more outcome driven, not only legal and, let's say, that procedural oriented, right? The first part, financial audit. First part is to write in terms of financial audit. Financial audit. And next is called social audit. Financial audit is nothing but CAG audit. It is more of compliance. This we have to write in first part. So basically writing first part that we have to talk that in government, the traditional aspect of accountability is more, let's say, legal and financial, which is evaluated by CAG. Then you can write about CAG, what CAG does, and then you can say that how it is more of compliance type of audit rather than, let's say, that evaluating its impact, wisdom of expenditure, the propriety, because propriety audit is a discretionary audit, it is not a regular practice, and then it does not evaluate overall outcome created. That's why there remains issue of, let's say, performance of budget allocated. That's why we can consider that even we spend that 15 lakh crore on poverty alleviation schemes and programs, but we may not measure its impact on people. This. So that way you'll write the background. After writing background, then you'll talk it down. There is also non-financial audit. So there is emphasis on non-financial audit, and that non-financial audit can be social audit or outcome evaluation. This way, and then you'll write about them. This. So you can say it has improved, but we need to still integrate, bring integration between CAG audit, social audit, and CAG needs to become more outcome oriented rather than more fault finding institution. This. Now, let me tell that financial audit is also a term, and that financial audit means CAG audit. You should know this. There can be a question on simply asking the relationship between financial audit and CAG audit. The financial audit is also a recognized term. This. And when we talk financial audit, it is audit by CAG in terms of, let's say, determining those procedural standards. And it is a statutory audit. Whatever the difference you have written between CAG and social audit, it will be the same difference. The only thing is that you have to use the term financial audit. This. Niti Aayog in its document provides difference between financial audit and social audit. That financial audit it presumes as CAG audit.
Presumes means like you can say CG audit is the internal audit is also financial audit.
Yes, internal audit is also financial audit. But internal audit is not, it should not remain in your mind. While writing answers, don't go on internal audit. It is a very, let's say that elusive thing. It's a very minor thing. Whenever you deal with audit means CAG audit. You should know that. And since Niti Aayog has given financial audit in its comparison, when it is talking difference between CAG audit and social audit, it uses the term called financial audit. Financial audit is nothing but audit by CAG in general. Although CAG has in details different types of audit, regulatory, financial, performance, propriety. But when you talk in generic sense, the CAG audit is nothing but financial audit. That's why we use the term financial audit, and it is called non-financial audit. In this context, it is called non-financial. Right. But only in that context it is called non-financial. In general, again, social audit can be both financial as well as non-financial. This you should also understand. Why? Because social audit can also find out irregularities. Since gradually social audit is also getting institutionalized, so tomorrow social audit by Gram Sabha can also find out financial irregularities. Although they will not look into technicalities. But in general parlance, we say it as financial audit, and social audit is non-financial audit. Is it clear? Right. And so there are always general parlance, specific context, this and that. The things are contextual. In fact, जो पहली बार प्लानिंग कमीशन ने सोशल ऑडिट डिफाइन किया था, अब तो प्लानिंग कमीशन नहीं है, तो पहली बार जब सोशल ऑडिट डिफाइन, अब तो वो डेफिनेशन भी हम लोग यूज नहीं करते हैं. तो पहली बार जब प्लानिंग कमीशन ने सोशल ऑडिट डिफाइन किया था, तो उन्होंने ऐसे ही लिखा था अपने डेफिनेशन में, सोशल ऑडिट इज एन एक्ट ऑफ नॉन फाइनेंशियल ऑडिट. बट अब वो टर्म नहीं यूज होता है ज्यादातर. Things change and definition change. Up definition largely we use for that this food agriculture organization. Anyhow, right. Sound performance auditing is impossible without systematic performance or outcome busting. Yes. We establish the relationship between them.
So when we have to audit something or research something, we must know what was the budget allocated for. Like what was the expected outcome they wanted while allocating that budget. So if we don't do performance or outcome budgeting, like if we don't mention outlay, output, outcome, then how would we audit on that parameter? That's why performance auditing is closely related with outcome auditing.
Yes, you have to show the relation. There is budgeting. You show the relation. Budgeting, accounting, and auditing. This. So simply let's say budgeting. The type of budgeting we have, this type will influence accounting. The accounting will prepare in certain layout, and then audit is the happen. The audit is done of this. Yes. There is a link between them. If it is expenditure oriented, if it is expenditure oriented, it is also expenditure oriented. It will be also just simply expenditure oriented. It will be also just legal, procedural oriented. Now, if it is performance budgeting, the accounting is also classified accordingly. And when accounting is classified accordingly, it is also this way auditing also changes. Yes. There is a direct link between type of budgeting and type of auditing. Yes. Since budgeting has become output and outcome oriented, the auditing has also become more performance oriented. So we have also performance audit. Like we have output and outcome for 67 ministry departments, largely about socio-economic development oriented programs and schemes. The CAG also does performance audit of those programs and schemes. That way we can consider. However, still there is a gap between the three processes that we have to still align them. Right. Align them in the sense that budgeting level we have brought the change. We need to bring changes at accounting level by adopting accrual accounting. And that will influence auditing. Right. That auditing will also become more performance oriented. This. And that is how there can be link. This is how it can talk like this. Right? So that is what. So they ask question linking budgeting, accounting, budgeting, auditing. Same thing question. मतलब इन्होंने इधर लेट से दैट की 2-4 लाइन और ऐड कर दिया. यहाँ पे सिंपल वही क्वेश्चन. अच्छा यहाँ पे आया नहीं. Similar question, that is how it is. The patterns, let's say at times, questions repeat होते हैं. बहुत सारे questions repeat होते हैं. This. So once you know this is how the benefit.
So this comes as a 15 marker.
मतलब content नहीं मिलेगा. Yeah. 15 क्या हो तो 20 मार्क में भी आ सकता है. Right. You write the details of, first you write the background, write the link, as we say that financial administration. So you start with this, the financial administration. The introduction you write about financial administration, blah blah things. Write the link, how they are connected. Then write about budgeting, how budgeting has undergone changes. Then we have adopted performance budgeting, outcome budgeting. Then write features of performance budgeting a bit, outcome budgeting क्या होता है. Then write the framework that we have adopted. Now it is finished. Then you write auditing. What auditing or what or how auditing is done, different types of auditing. This written. Then you write a link between them, give some examples. Then write ki how they are means almost synchronized and reforms needed. I was talking. तो ये तो ज्यादा हो जाएगा. Just basically by that time you will learn how to generate content. That is not the challenge. Right? The challenge will be ki yes, whether it is coming in that right structuring, whether we write in let's say whether we are able to structure properly, whether you are able to write direct content, bring those things. This is how it is. Challenge will not be that content you do not have. This. So that is how we'll talk on this. Then let's take 1-2 question related to CAG, then we'll finish it. It is paper second. That was paper 1. Right. So again a simple question. Concept of social audit is मतलब इधर भी आता है. This concept of social audit is more comprehensive than that of traditional audit. Why it is more comprehensive?
Both financial and non-financial.
What is the social impact on the society?
That.
Also grassroots level पे connected.
Yeah, but it is, let's say, multi-dimensional. It is people-driven. It is people-driven. It is sector-driven. Let's say, Juvenile Justice Act. The social audit for that is different. Right. Social audit of Manrega, it has a different perspective. This. So it will be social audit. We told social impact assessment. That also we can include. It can be, let's say, land acquisition. उसका भी social audit हो सकता है. Shelter homes, उसका भी social audit. So it can be more subject-driven, people-driven. This. It is not process-driven. It is more subject-driven. This. Because of that, it is more comprehensive than traditional audit. However, towards end, you write that there is greater convergence between them. And it is expected that CAG audit will also have more, it will adopt a broader perspective. That way it will be written. Then again, social audit of flagship programs, central government, this performance facilitates the performance of CAG. Elaborate statement. It's a direct question. How social audit facilitates performance of CAG? Yes, yesterday we mentioned that. कल आपको ज्यादा लग रहा था. बहुत ज्यादा है social audit. Right. अब समझ में आया होगा, isn't it? Social audit के how many questions है? 4 questions. इसके पहले एक और question है, 5 questions. इसके अगर आगे होगा तो और भी question होगा. Yes. And it is comparison. Largely they are asking in comparison with CAG. This 2 times comparison in paper 1, 2 times in paper 2. Yes. इतने तो साइमन को भी नहीं पूछते हैं. This. Anyhow. So how it facilitates performance?
social audit findings to measure performance of
Yes, how it facilitates performance of CAG. That link you have to establish.
It can provide an ecosystem for CAG audit.
You will write that there is hand-holding approach. That should be the right way to write. There is hand-holding approach between CAG and social audit. CAG has been helping social audit by deciding the guidelines and modalities, process standards of social audit. That it is expected, since CAG also does performance audit of programs and schemes, so it will get influenced by social audit findings, as it asked its auditors in 2015 to be present when social audit is done at state level. Right. ज़्यादा फास्ट हो गया. Right. Link, that is the main thing. There is a hand-holding approach, and it does social audit, means it helps in social audit. In fact, the social audit standards we have, it is nothing but provided by CAG. Yes, the CAG is fully aware about the social auditing standards. This is first, it trains. Second, then it has told to its auditor to be present in social audit जब होता है. तो क्या करेगा? सिर्फ समोसा खाने के लिए जाएगा? Auditor, right. Auditor will be present in the social audit. Now that will influence the auditor. So when they will do performance audit, right? Yes, they are aware about the social audit findings. In that way, they will incorporate in their performance audit. Or it is expected that they will incorporate in their performance audit. That way it facilitates performance of CAG. And it makes CAG also more performance oriented. That this is how we have to. Although this process has to be improved, that we need to annually prepare social audit findings at a state level and let down in the legislatures, and that should also be taken into consideration by CAG while doing audit of those schemes and programs. That is how you should write. In fact, कुछ ऐसे topics है that you should write your best answers. ये सारे ऐसे टॉपिक्स है कि you should write your best answers. इसलिए कि यही होगा आंसर. 4-5 साल तक इतना ही चलेगा. कोई नया फैक्ट अभी नहीं आने वाला है. This, so you can write, prepare your answer, you can write the best one. Provided कि कोई नया डेवलपमेंट नहीं होता है. होगा तो वो टेस्ट में आ जाएगा या anywhere else we can incorporate. Then this social audit has lent a critical edge to implementation of programs such as मनरेगा. ये भी आ गया है. What critical edge? What it has led critical edge.
So मनरेगा is widely one of the most successful initiatives of the government because it impacts people on the rural level, grassroots level, and it is funded by a social audit. So its implementation is organized or more focused.
Any other?
Social audit papers are also taken into consideration, so they are in law, which are in policy implementation level. So it gives a critical that they can be improved over, so they can be improved. Policy implementation.
देखो क्रिटिकल एज मतलब आंसर में भी वैसा ही दिखना चाहिए. Main thing is that it was the first scheme, or it is the first scheme in which social audit is adopted and it is legally, let's say, recognized. There is no any other scheme within that scheme social audit is mentioned. It is the only scheme, still it is the only scheme in which social audit has been mentioned, and that also to be done by Gram Sabha. This. That also to be done by Gram Sabha. Manrega Act connects Gram Sabha and 73rd Amendment Act. This. It brings connection between 73rd Amendment Act and Manrega Act. This. And when Gram Sabha is given, which is the watchdog of grassroots democracy, so that, let's say that Gram Sabha becomes more of people-oriented. It makes audit more people's audit, participative audit. This. Since it is also implemented by Gram Sabha. जैसे प्रधानमंत्री ग्राम, let's say that प्रधानमंत्री जन आरोग्य योजना, it is not implemented by Gram Sabha. Right. It is implemented by other authorities. No any scheme is implemented by Gram Sabha. It is Manrega which is implemented by Gram Sabha. Even Swachh Bharat Mission. So, because of Gram Sabha, 73rd Amendment and link, that gives critical edge over any other scheme. And then Gram Sabha has been, let's say, institutionalized in the process of social audit through CAG guidelines in 2011. This, that you can consider. And it is one such factor for success of Manrega. If Manrega is successful, it is also because of one factor called social audit. It has built social capital around Manrega, let's say that, as it brings the philosophy of Hamara Paisa, Hamara Hisab, and it brings link with other stakeholders, including civil society and self-help groups like Deen Dayal Upadhyay, National Livelihood Mission, and Gram Sabha. They have forged partnership to carry out social audit. ये सारा लिखना पड़ेगा. So that is how, let's say that it has given critical edge. It was expected question, right? Then let's take CAG question. So these are the questions, let's say. We will have 4 or 5 questions on social audit. CAG के भी उतने ही question है. CAG इधर नहीं आएगा तो वहाँ आएगा, वहाँ नहीं आएगा तो यहाँ नहीं आएगा. तो GS में आया है तो पब्लिक एड में नहीं आया होगा, या वहाँ भी आ सकता है. Isn't it? GS में तो नहीं आएगा अगले साल. This, that way CAG, you know this. What it says, due to a primary cause of widespread paralysis on part of the government institution to decide an act. Yes. Yes, what it is saying, question is negative. UPSC को सब पता है. What it is indicating.
So, and the fault finding nature instead of fact finding nature, it does not promote good practices. That's why government institutions don't try to take this.
Today is the primary cause of widespread and paralyzing unwillingness on the part of the government institution to decide an act. फिर वैसे ही लिखना होगा, critical age type. वो पैरालाइजिंग कह रहे हैं, आप जो है बिल्कुल पैराग्लाइडिंग कर रहे हो.
It doesn't differentiate the bona fide and valid.
वो तो नॉर्मल प्रॉब्लम है, आज नहीं पहले का ही है. अभी ऐसा क्या हो गया कि पैरालाइज हो गया?
It has become activism, it is shown.
एक्टिविज्म बाय कैग, पर उतने से भी काफी नहीं होगा. जब क्वेश्चन आंसर करना होता है ना, तब इसका टेस्ट होता है. ठीक है. और कई बार वो, सॉरी टू से, जान निकाल लेता है. फिर से आ जाएगा. Basically, let's say you have to write that CAG activism, right, in recent times has resulted into, let's say, cancellation of lots of policy decisions of the government. 2G spectrum, 2G scam, spectrum cancelled, licenses cancelled, 150 लोगों का license cancel होता है. This, and coal block scam, all coal block allocations cancelled. since 90s. So when you cancel in such en masse, let's say that licenses of such stakeholders, what it will do? It will bring paralyzing effect. This. So that will be the key aspect when you are writing. Plus exposure of scams, etc., plus estimated loss, plus recent findings, you'll find that. So when CAG audit is being done, so somehow let's say when it is cancelling the things, exposing irregularities, over activism, or let's say in its own reports, there is a lack of rational analysis and assessment. So those things have somehow sent a shock wave in decision makers, especially administration, and they have become risk aversive. And that is how policy paralysis resulted during UPA time. Right? 5 C's became, now वहाँ पे 5 C's आ सकता है. 5 C's became infamous for promoting policy paralysis. Of that 5 C, 1 C is CAG. Even in present government, most of the projects etc. are running late. One such cause is also considered as CAG approach of fault finding. And when it assesses projects etc., this discrepancies, they are being criticized that the CAG somehow lacks expertise. It lacks expertise, but when it finds flaws, that results into risk aversive culture. And that is how, because of this, it has resulted into widespread this, you can say, institution, government institutions. The government institutions are that ministry, departments, administration, they have become risk aversive. So that, but certainly you have to defend also. Right. CAG is not something you can criticize like anything. But you don't write this line. Anyhow, the CAG is like Krishna and the chariot of Arjun. This you should know that. So if CAG is not there, फिर क्या होगा? The CAG presence, let's say, we cannot criticize also, paralyzing etc. It does have flaws, but at the same time, flaws also start with decision makers. Decision makers. It may be that, let's say that in one project it may have given, but what is Commonwealth game scam? Other society scam? क्या बोलेंगे कि scam नहीं हुआ है? This. In 2G scam and coal block scam, yes, you can say that there can be quite activism. But what about others? Irregularities, discrepancies. There are irregularities and discrepancies. So, CAG role we can consider, it can be reformed, but it cannot be criticized beyond a limit simply because flaws come at policy making level, at decision making level, that at supervision level, at transparency level. So we need to also promote that, means standardization, transparency in policy decisions, and it should be the concern of the government to promote performance accountability. Right. CAG is a post facto act. Although CAG should change, become more fact-finding oriented, a reform body rather than a punishment-oriented body. So that is how you have to write. थोड़ा challenge होगा लिखने में, second part. The office of CAG, pillar of autonomy. ये तो स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड क्वेश्चन है. नो, तो क्या लेकुना क्या है? व्हाट इज लेकुना इन कैग?
Lack of expertise.
Lack of expertise. Any other? Bureaucratization, lack of expertise. जो मेन पूछ रहे हैं वो तो अभी तक आया नहीं पॉइंट. Lack of transparency in appointments. This is how you should write first. Yes. You will write those problems: fault finding, lack of autonomy, lack of transparency, generalistic approach. That aspect we can find is so lack of reforms with the pace of change in public administration. You can talk some other countries, compare it to just buttress your point. Yes, so that should be written, and then you should write about how to reform it, right? Yes, यही क्वेश्चन था वो 6 telecom companies. Yes. तो कई बार that's current question they ask. That also. You told 6 telecom companies case. अब तो इसका relevance नहीं है. उस समय उसका अपना एक relevance था. काफी debate हुआ था उसके ऊपर. Yes. And this. So that is how it is question.